Hello, everybody. I'm going to be reading another chapter of my story, and I'm on chapter 10 now. So, if you actually like what I'm reading, like, subscribe, share, do your thing. This I've been trying to do this my whole life, and I'm trying to get it out there. Seriously, don't just want to get it out there, see what people think about it. So, and you like the movie? Love the movie. But anyway, chapter 10. Two 20-something white males are sword fighting in the living room. Most people would say that they are fighting, but since they are field agents who are on break from the protectors of Earth, they call it training. They are about even when it comes to fighting skills, but both of them can always use the practice. Besides, the more you train, the better you get. They begin to hear a ringing noise coming out from inside the kitchen, so they have to postpone the training so Brett can answer the phone. So Frank sheathes his sword and plops himself onto the couch. He takes a sip of his refreshing iced tea and decides it's time to take a break anyways. Brett walks out of the kitchen a little excited about something. So who was on the phone? Frank asks. Brett sits down upon the couch right next to Frank. It was Nick, and he says that he and Rebecca are on their way to visit. Apparently, they want our help with the mission they are on. About time. We have been sitting here on our asses for way too long. Frank cracks his knuckles. Since it's been a couple of years since we have seen Rebecca and Nick, I think I'm going to break out some alcohol. Brett stands up and enters the kitchen. We have been saving this liquor for a special occasion, but it doesn't matter anyways because I have something better. Frank reaches under the couch and pulls out a tray of marijuana. What? Seeing Rebecca and Nick once again after all these years isn't special enough? Or something? Brett enters the living room with a huge bottle of rum and 6 glasses. I'm just saying, man. Of course it's cool with me. Why are you setting up already? Are they that close? Actually, they aren't as far as you would think. Brett looks out the window and sees a car pull into their driveway, right beside his car. As he walks towards the door, he notices that Frank is blowing smoke out of his lungs. Don't give me that look. When we aren't on a mission, how much do the protectors of Earth actually let us do? Frank does not like it when people, especially his friends, judge him. You got a point. When we go on a leave of absence, we are closely monitored and are not allowed to really go out much. It's very disappointing. Brett opens the front door, seeing that Rebecca and Nick are now out of their vehicle and headed up towards them. With 2 people he does not know. He decides that having the door open will make it more obvious where he and Frank currently reside. Hey, Brett, it's been way too long. What have you been up to lately? Rebecca wraps her arms around Brett once she gets to the front door. Not too much. Actually, we have been waiting for you to call us. It's about time that you and Nick need our help on a mission. He stands by the door, leaving it open until all 4 of them are inside. Then he closes it. So, who are your 2 new friends? He extends his right hand out so he could shake their hands as Rebecca introduces them to each other. Jacob and Brittany, this is my very old and good friend Brett. Brett, this is Jacob and Brittany. How are both of you doing on this fine afternoon? Brett shakes their hands one at a time. So, are you 2 field agents or are you 2 victims? He begins to start a conversation. We are both victims of Balthazar's terror. He decided to enter our realm through a gateway that is inside the basement of our apartment complex. We also found out recently that Jacob's father and Brittany's mother were field agents. Were they? What kind of missions were they assigned to? Brett is curious as hell. In his entire lifetime, he has never met anybody whose parents were field agents and their children are not. We don't really know for certain, but the headmaster informs us that they only took top secret missions. Rebecca answers. She wants her whole team of field agents and those in training to be well informed. So, they only took the dangerous missions, huh? Let me guess that they were killed by something supernatural. We don't know how they died, but doesn't off-field agents' deaths usually gruesome anyways? Besides, we just found this out a little while ago ourselves. Now that you guys have Frank and me by your side, we will find out everything we can about your parents. Brett looks at Jacob and then at Brittany, reassuring them that they will do everything that they can to uncover the truth. Anyways, let's all sit down and get comfortable. So all of them sit down somewhere and wait until somebody says or does something. So for a couple of minutes, it is nothing but silence. You five discuss everything, while I will make some food for us to eat. While I'm cooking, why don't you drink up? Brett exits the living room and enters the kitchen where he begins to make himself and his friends some food. So, what has everybody been up to? Frank asks, lighting up a cigarette. Balthazar has been a real pain in the ass. I've never seen a master demon as strong or as smart as he is, Rebecca answers. She grabs Frank's pack of cigarettes that he left upon the coffee table and his lighter. Normally she does not smoke, but this mission is very stressful and she could use something to calm her nerves. So I take it that you need our help more than ever, Becky. Frank takes a large gulp of his alcoholic drink. Yes, we could use your help more now than we ever needed it. Rebecca also takes a huge gulp of her drink. How can Brittany and I find out more about our father and her mother? My entire life, I have wondered what happened to him. I know my mother was not telling me the truth when it came to why he left us when I was a kid. Jacob finally speaks up. Now, when it comes to top secret missions, the only way to find anything out is to go straight to the top, Rebecca answers. So where is that? No field agent knows where it is. If you really want to find it, you got to talk to Gabriel. He is the headmaster that runs the school, who teaches new recruits on how to become agents. He is the only person who speaks directly to the Angel Society. Alright people, I have some food that is ready to eat. But other than that, what are we talking about? Brett enters the living room with his hands completely full with food, and that puts smiles on everybody's faces because they are all famished after the day's experience. After all the food is gone, Nick is outside teaching Jacob and Brittany how to use a sword, while Rebecca, Brett, and Frank are in the living room drinking more alcohol and talking more about their dangerous missions they have experienced and the one that they are currently trying to complete. So, how are we going to go about this? Who is the head lead agent, and have you found the gateway yet? Frank is all chatty now. We are going to do this how we are taught. I am and always will be the lead agent. Well, until I'm dead anyways. We also found the gateway and it is massive. She takes another huge gulp of her drink. Sounds understandable. Have you seen this master demon's fighting skills? I'm just wondering how powerful he really is, or if he is all talk. Do I have to bring an arsenal with me? I even have a few potions and spells in a book that's hidden in my room. I would say bring everything you can. I'm warning you now that this mission is dangerous and very top secret, so some of us might not make it back alive. Rebecca finishes what is in her glass. No matter how dangerous the mission is, we are with you, Becky. No matter what. Brett also finishes the rest of his drink and slams his empty cup upon the table. I have one more question before we begin. What advice did your grandfather give you? Are we headed there? I would love to speak with him about things. Frank is all questions now. Then he has a few drinks in him. That is 2 questions, and yes to both of them. Rebecca stands up out of her comfortable seat. Now go pack. I'm going to go outside and see what kind of help Nick is going to need. If I know him, he is having trouble teaching Jacob and Brittany. He never really was a good teacher. Rebecca exits through a sliding door and sees Jacob catching on pretty quickly. Brittany, however, is having some problems. Rebecca is not surprised, though, seeing that the sword she is trying to swing is bigger than she is. So she enters the sliding door and searches through one of her duffel bags. It takes a few moments, but she grabs a crossbow and 6 arrows connected to the top of it. She walks back outside and then over towards Brittany. Take this. Rebecca hands Brittany the crossbow. Nick tells me that I have to learn how to use a sword. He says that it is required for a field agent. Brittany tries to swing the sword that is firmly in both her hands again, but she is having trouble holding the sword above her waist. A crossbow can work just as well as a sword can, sometimes better. It won't kill a master bean, but it can be very useful for everything else. Rebecca and Brittany make an exchange, the sword for the crossbow. Brittany holds it for a moment, agreeing with Rebecca that it is a big improvement from the heavy sword. Wait a minute. If you agree that a crossbow is a positive thing to use, what about a gun? It can be more effective than a crossbow. Jacob argues, swinging the sword that he is holding without any problems. If you have to use a gun, make sure you use a silencer with it, because the noise that the gun makes while you are killing zombies attracts more zombies, and then they are endless. Trust me on this. If you are able to learn to wield that sword quickly, you won't have any problems. I will learn how to use this sword, then I will learn more about Balthazar myself. You are not even close on trying to fight him yourself. Let us handle him, Nick advises. His sister does not bother with it. As she re-enters the townhouse through the sliding door, the sun begins to go down. Okay guys, it's quitting time. Nick helps Jacob and Brittany gather up the weapons. Then all three of them enter the townhouse. The day is about gone as all three of them enter their agreed sleeping areas. The next day has plenty of things for them to do, so they all know that they are going to need some shut-eye. If they're going to guarantee victory in the next day's mission attributes, they need as much sleep as they can get. I know it's a boring chapter, but it gets better. The story I'm on the outline on book 4. It is a mini series, so there's a lot of, I think what authors call it, plates. Got a lot of stuff in the air that's got to come down. So like, comment, subscribe, share. Anything helps me. Appreciate everybody that listens and subscribes.